Matapos talunin ni Gervonta Tank Davis si King Ryan Garcia, ay marami ang lumutang na pangalan na posibleng sunod na susubok sa bangis ni Tank Davis. Nandyan ang mananalo sa labang Devin Haney at Vasily Lomachenko, ang bagong salta sa lightweight division na si Shakur Stevenson, o maging isang rematch kay Pitbull Cruz. Ngunit may isang Pinoy na lumalaban sa lightweight division ang dati nang humamon sa mananalo sa labang Tank Davis at Ryan Garcia. Si Mercito No Mercy Gesta, na tubong Cebu na nakabase na ngayon sa Amerika, ang dapat sana'y makakalaban ni Garcia. Ngunit ipinagpaliban ito ni Garcia at mas piniling kalabanin agad si Tank Davis. Sa huling laban ni Gesta ay tinalo niya via split decision si Jojo Diaz, at matapos ang panalo ay sinabi niyang gusto niyang makalaban ang mga bigatin sa kanyang dibisyon. Ngunit kailangang magmadali ni Gesta dahil 35 taon na siya ngayon at maaari na rin umakyat ng dibisyon si Garcia. Kasalukuyang may kartada si Gesta na 34 na panalo kontra sa 3 talo at 3 tabla lang. 17 sa kanyang mga panalo ay by way of knockout. Balikan muna natin kung paano tinalo ni Gesta ang Mexicanong si Martin Honorio noong July 15, 2017.
Honorio 33-10-1. Gesta with only 1 loss on his record, had 2 draws. What's the book on Gesta, Steve?
Well, I remember doing stories on Gesta when he was a young prospect about 5 years ago. And of course, the natural comparison was made as a Filipino southpaw to one Manny Pacquiao. It kind of reminded me of the 80s and 90s that anyone that was over 6'6" and could dribble was always inevitably compared to Magic Johnson. But as we found out, Manny Pacquiao's are very, very rare. Settled in as a pretty good professional prize fighter. He got his 1 title shot against Miguel Vasquez, a very, very difficult style, and kind of stunk it out on him. The question is, can Gesta be any better than he is? Probably good enough to compete at the top 10 level, but is he ever going to be elite? And I think that's one of the reasons why he has hooked up with Freddie Roach. You know, he hasn't even come close to being a Nonito Donaire.
No. You know that country will back you any way you can if you have any kind of a glimpse of the future.
And some of the action from round number 1, and there's a quick, sneaky little right hand landed by Gesta, who basically outmaneuvered and outboxed Martin Honorio in round number 1. This fight here is scheduled for 8 rounds.
But at the CMAC Cap 7 gym, the brother is in charge of it. That's where Mercito and his dad started training. His dad actually fought a couple years ago. A martial artist is Gesta's father. Mercito. That's a scary dude. You don't mess with the Kuya. Antonio Orozco at 140 pounds. Worked that fight at Del Mar Fairgrounds, and Honorio was cut nasty and continued to go. It's a good scrap. Gatekeeper in the division. Somebody you can measure yourself up well against. Professional resistance, right, Steve?
Yeah,
is that the term you taught me?
He's going to give you solid rounds. Now, what you'd like to see from Gesta is some separation. Really try to make a statement here. Don't just win. Just don't be satisfied with winning a decision where you're not going to really open eyes. Many of the times, you make your opportunities in the sport at the higher level by putting the exclamation point at the end of performances. That's something, quite frankly, that's been lacking with Mercito Gesta. Well, I can see why, though, with Gesta, with Honorio. He's a big, tall, lanky guy, and he's a bit clumsy, and his head always comes out over his feet. Generally, they teach you to box on your back foot. In other words, make sure your chin and your face don't come over your front foot.
Third round of action. Bethel Duran, Steve Kim. Oh, I just got a picture of some aguachiles of Ventura that they're making, Steve, as they're watching us. Sylvia is fixing the iPad. They have the party outside. Appreciate you, Sylvia. Yes, you want to fix the sound because you want to hear Steve Kim. Mercito Gesta. You're starting to hear the crowd make some noise. A lot of Filipinos came specifically for Gesta. No Mercy is his nickname. Starting to chant it inside the forum. Do you see him at the wild card? I know you work out there a lot.
Well, he moves out downstairs at a different time than when I come in. So I'm not really sure how his training is going, but I think just being around that atmosphere of the wild card, I think is really helpful. A lot of the times when you're at a gym, it's not so much about the individual trainer, it's about the guys that you can work with. I've always been a believer that who you spar with will oftentimes tell you how good of a fighter you are. As they say, iron sharpens iron.
So there's a lot of guys who are not willing to leave a comfort zone, especially as they get developed in their careers. We have to give credit to Gesta and his team. Make the move up to LA for better work. No knock on San Diego, but...
Right, and his original trainer is a guy that I know very well, Vince Parra, who trains young junior welterweight Maurice Hooker. And I think things got a little bit too comfortable between the two, and it's one of the harsh realities of the sport. No marriages really last forever tonight in that blue corner.
Yeah, Yuka, you forgot the towel. As Marco Antonio Barrera walks by in front of us doing the Spanish broadcast tonight, he put on some wars, didn't he?
Absolutely. Like I said earlier, February 3rd, 1996, that man began boxing after dark. What an absolute
he was the
war
first one?
against Kennedy McKinney, yes.
Oh, wow.
In this building. In fact, the first boxing after dark card was a bit of a bust. It was Johnny Tapia, who had a technical draw. So he hit a guy with the low blow who tried to fake it. I believe the guy's last name was Giovanni Andrade. But Marco Antonio Barrera really stamped himself as a Mexican.
Oh, and down goes Honorio with the left. As Gesta's trying to stamp himself back into the division. Honorio walked in and ate that one here in the fourth. He's been down before. He's battled. He's rugged. This is not foreign territory to him. See how Gesta puts it together here in the fourth.
Beto, this would be a really strong statement if he could stop Honorio instead of letting him off the hook.
2011 was the last time that Honorio was stopped in a fight. And this is Honorio though, Stevie. He's a veteran, he's been down before, knows how to survive, get his legs back, gets right up.
Yeah, and he's also very, very durable.
Well, Ricky Mota in the corner, moving him back. No mercy, Gesta. I think he's shooken off that ring rust, Steve. Looking good tonight. Mexico against Japan. It all starts at 7 o'clock Pacific time. Throwing him back again. It's a pop in that left hand from Gesta.
No, he's been able to buzz Honorio a few times. The difficult thing about Honorio, specifically for Gesta, is the size difference. One thing about Honorio, he has the height of at least the junior welterweight. So if you have a young fighter that needs a gatekeeper type of experience, call him. Or if you're a veteran in between fights that needs to get a few rounds in, that's another guy that you have on your Rolodex.
Solid round for the Filipino. Gesta.
And Mercito Gesta racks up another round, and the story of the night has been that straight left, which has buzzed Honorio several times. There's another good one there in round number 6.
You gotta earn your way there.
You know, I just wonder if he's not gonna get a title shot, how does he match up with a guy like Denis Shafikov, who can't make a bad fight? Another fellow southpaw from Russia, who I believe may have beaten Robert Easter a couple of weeks ago, and simply had no shot of winning on those scorecards, it turns out. But, you know, they say styles make fights. Shafikov, who was also another guy stunk out by Miguel Vasquez in a title shot. Shafikov, I think, would push Gesta into fighting. I don't think Gesta would have any choice but to really stand and let his hands go against that hard-charging young nut.
One of my favorite boxing photographers out there watching right now on his phone. Not working tonight, but he's on the way to the fight. Oh, Honorio was back and it has been stopped.
Wow.
Tom Taylor has stopped it. Taylor went to the corner of Honorio between rounds and said something to Yuka, the trainer, because Honorio was stunned a bit in the previous round. Didn't go down, but he was going backwards. And you see Honorio's not really resisting.
Beto, I don't know if that's the exclamation point, but it is a knockout, and Mercito Gesta may be moving on to bigger and better things. And again, when a referee basically tells a corner and a fighter, I'm watching you closely, they are generally looking for the first real opportunity to stop the fight. And there, it's interesting, it was not the left hand, it was a straight jab that basically jerked back his head. That's one of the things that referees are taught to look for. When a guy's head starts to have a whiplash effect like that, And you know what? It's not the worst stoppage in the world,
No.
given the fact Honorio had lost every single round on.
Panalo ang ating kababayang si Gesta via TKO. Maraming salamat po sa panonood mga idol.